rise to your feet. Please remove your hats, gentlemen, as we prepare to honor our country with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, it's the game that we've had on the calendar potentially in December when the NFBU National Championship kicked off. Neil Sika, Matt DeRazio, Randy Rosenblum, the 8th grade national semifinal. Georgia, represented by the GFL, known as North Georgia last year, looking to repeat as 8th grade champions across the same linear path. While Maryland looking to go up a level from their 7th graders that won it a year ago here at the 8th grade. Two dominant teams. The defensive front of Georgia has been talked about. Maryland's offense, the way they can throw it to the receivers, the brass tacks of it all, Randy. What interests you the most as these two kick off what could be and essentially is considered a potential championship game?
How many first downs can Georgia get against that Maryland front, which only allowed 2 first downs coming in here tonight? This is a very confident team, and they believe that Maryland, that they're going to win this championship. It starts tonight. They feel confident. And whoever establishes the running game, that's critical. Who will dominate the running game? Because both teams want to run the football.
Well, we've had our coin toss, a little 9 o'clock primetime action, the final semifinal to determine who will play Seattle in the national championship on Sunday night in the Alamo Dome.
That was a great game with Seattle getting by St. Louis 6-3 at an absolute slugfest. So close for St. Louis, long field goal just underneath the crossbar, and they came about a buck short, about a yard shot.
Georgia will kick off. And as they return under head coach Ken Burge, his 3rd straight year coaching this team, bowed out to Central Florida, the eventual champions at the 8th grade level in 2011. Won it all last year. Just so physical running the football. And Colorado was hanging in for a while in that game, but then they went on to take it. William Van Pamelin to kick things off as Georgia, traditionally in the same colors as Maryland, wears green. And away we go in this 8th national semifinal. Should be a doozy as the ball rolls free along the sideline and out of play. It was returned up along that far side by Eric Gage. So the Maryland offense goes to work. DeJuan Ellis does not return. He's a basketball star, but they have Doc Bonner taking the snaps. He can sling it. And those excellent receivers of Taylor, Boone, Jackson, and White. Then good running backs, Rashard Jackson, Labby, Mensah, and Stott, against an offensive line that's considered one of the best and seasoned groups that have been playing together for a while. Petrillo, Fontaine, Hood, Winokur, and Gregory, with Booker the tight end. Some new faces as they go single back with Bonner to throw, and some miscommunication. It was a forward pass. It's behind Taylor. Incomplete. Second down.
Well, that's not how you want to start the game. On the kick return, you fumble it out of bounds, and on your first play from scrimmage, you're not on the same page. So early on, Maryland needs to settle down.
That Maryland defensive line, it's been talked about for 3 weeks. They've got Booman, Realis George Jr., Robert Cooper, 320 pounds. His brother David is a linebacker at Indiana. More on that in a bit. The give to Labby, and he cuts his way to the 45. Good blocking, 9-yard gain. Christian Malloy made the stop for Georgia.
I like the purpose that Jason Labby runs with. I mean, he was there on a mission to pick up yardage. It makes this third down a lot easier for the offensive team, Maryland.
I've been excited to watch Labby play. This is a guy who tore it up last year, was basically the MVP of this team that took him to the championship. He's picking up where he left off from last year.
He's faster this year.
Shows right there. Labby breaks it. Torn down at the 16-yard line. Omar Sinclair saved the touchdown.
Well, the first 2 plays were ugly, the kickoff and the first one from scrimmage. The last 2 have been lightning with Labby. And again, in the secondary and downfield, he can electrify the masses.
Goes 39 yards, 1st and 10, a minute in. Winborn and Sawyer, the other part of that impressive defensive front. We mentioned Sinclair. Malloy's in there with Edmonds, Jeffries, Bailey, Cotter, the linebackers. Allen's had a whale of a tournament at safety. And Nick Prince rounds out the back end. Straight ahead, 3-yard gain as it's given off. And taken ahead by Rashard Jackson. If you can believe it or not, Terrence Bird, also the veteran coach, thinks Jackson is probably the best true running back they have in the group.
Well, they have talent across the board for Maryland, but that was a great play by Cooper up front to slug the ball carrier down.
Big old number 70 in green, hard to miss. On the give, this is Tremaine Stott. And Georgia recovering from getting gashed on 2 straight plays. And some minimal gains here, about 3 to the 10, but still 3rd and manageable for Maryland. Opening possession of the game.
You guys, typically, you're the defending champ. You have a lot of confidence, but in this case, both teams experienced championships last year, so there's no fear factor when these 2 teams come on.
Yeah, but it is a little bit of a different cast of characters for the team from Georgia. These are different players.
Here's the give. It's Stott ahead. 1st and goal to the 5. Running strong off that right side. When they like to do so, they go around the right guard. Cody Winokur from Severna Park. 4.0 student. A state runner-up in junior high at wrestling.
Love the way Maryland is running between the tackles and getting off the ball.
And a big tackle, too, out there on the right with Gregory. Stott, they're ready for him this time as he's hitting the hole coming up to make that tackle is Winborn. Esau Washington also got a tap on him. 3 minutes passed here in the first, and Maryland looking impressive running it. Ironically, that was the concern. Would they be able to throw against the defensive front? They're doing more than just that. Stuffing it down the middle. At that time, Boo-Man, Realis George Jr., what a great nickname. Maybe the best in the tournament.
It really is. And again, in this part of the field, it is tough to just stick it down the throat of the team from Georgia. I mean, they're big athletes up front, and they got all of them, you know, hovering around the ball because there's not that much real estate to protect. And I don't know that Maryland can go straight up the middle. Maybe think in terms of trying to get outside against this defensive front.
3rd and goal at the 4. Taylor is split to the near side of the screen. Bonner on the toss sweep. Not gonna work. Jamari Sawyer shut off that edge. And great pursuit. Darnell Jeffries coming forward. 4th and goal from the 3.
Well, they did try to go outside, and then it was taken away from them by Georgia. So this would be a big play for them. You see Team Maryland come all the way down the field, look like they're going to score, and if they stall and don't get anything on the board, that would be a huge mental lift for Georgia.
They're not settling for 3, as Maryland wants to make the statement. Almost halfway through, 4th and goal. Stott is stopped. And that Georgia defense stifling inside the 5 as they shut down Maryland and take it over on downs.
Yeah, that championship pedigree of Georgia takes over, and that was just a wonderful defensive play. And you gotta love that will, you know, a goal line stand to protect your goal line and get the ball back for your offense. It's not good field position, but it's certainly a better alternative than giving up points.
The linebacker Cotter, one of the 2 that got in there. So now quarterback Trevor Lawrence, 6'2", comes in to take the snaps, and Georgia, well, they make no other excuse. They want to run the football. And they've got some good backs. Cole Roble out of Decula, very stout, but a minimal gain on 1st down. So 2nd and 9 upcoming as they're stuffed deep in their own territory after the big defensive stand.
Yeah, you talk to Ken Burge, the coach of Georgia. He'll tell you in that wonderful Georgian accent, we got to run the ball. And we got to keep their offense off the football field, so they have an opportunity to run the football. Let's see if they can get it done.
Well, that's been his system as a coach of the Buford Wolves, but Maryland's got a pretty good D2. They'll give forward progress. That was nearly a safety. Raymond Boone, know the name. You should know it from last year. He makes the big tackle on a Capitol Heights.
He made big plays last year in the 7th grade division, helping Maryland win a championship. He made a big play there. And this is not a place in the field you really want to throw the football in 3rd and long, but it might not be the option. They may not have an option to run the football unless you want to give it up on downs and have to punt from the back of your end zone. So we'll see if they go up top and air it out.
Lawrence is a touch passer, but this is a lot to ask. 3rd and 11. They'll go to the eye. Everyone up for Maryland. Georgia moves.
Won't cost them very much yardage down there. The big question here, though, is can they get 1st downs? And it's tough to do that against this defense. It just doesn't give up anything in the whole tournament.
And guys, as a quarterback, when you're taking a snap from under center and you look down, you're in your own end zone, there's nothing more uncomfortable. So you've got to calm the guys down. You got to calm yourself down and really try to get some kind of progress on this play to give yourself a chance. If you're going to punt it, so a little bit of extra room.
I would say you've experienced that once or twice, even on a smaller field, too. Clock running with 3.5 remaining in the quarter. Quick give up the middle, just trying to find some room to punt the football away. And they get about a yard. Roble again.
The problem with that's conceding that you're not going to win the downs, and you're going to give the football away on 3rd and 12. You're not going to run the football at Maryland yards, but there's that fear of the turnover and getting sacked for a safety, and that's why they didn't throw it.
Cameron Good, another good one with his latest stop. On the punt away, it's a very, very good effort, as it'll go out at the 47, considering kicking from under the crossbar. And that is where Maryland will begin its second drive. So they'll hold serve on the field position and get their second possession with 2:49 remaining. They've taken up much of that first quarter with the football.
That was just a great kick. I mean, it didn't look good there at all for Georgia. We thought that the field position would be much more severe against the Georgiaites, but that's not the case because of that wonderful punt.
That last drive went 8 plays, and the first one, the only one, a pass. So 1st and 10, and Bonner brings him up to the line at the 47. They'll go back to running the football. On the give, it is Jackson. He's got a tackle by Sawyer in there. And Decatur was big in that Southwest Florida Regional Championship game in the pouring rain the weekend before Christmas.
This Maryland team has great chemistry with all these players. So many of these players playing in their 7th grade championship game. It's a very confident team, both offensively and defensively.
Boone split out wide. Bonner throws the slant to him. And the pass goes off his shoulder pads. Nolan Edmonds in the coverage.
And Randy, I agree with you. If you're a team that won it last year and you've been together for a while, there's that expectation of when you walk on the field, you expect to walk off as winners. And these guys have been doing it for 2 years straight. So they kind of have that swag as they come out on the field and they break the huddle and they play each position.
That extra year of being together, the maturity that goes with it, and it's accelerated at this age group.
It's 3rd down and 8. Off the delay, Labby will kind of scale his way for about 3, but not much, to the 41. 4th down upcoming. 4th, call it a long 4. You got Boone lining up with Taylor. They're split. Will this be a quick kick from Bonner? Yes. They'll play this field position game, but it's not the best effort. Takes a bit of a Georgia bounce and will come to halt at the 24. And the Peachtree boys, the Peach State boys, come to the line. There are some Peachtree Ridge kids, most of them plying their trade in the Gwinnett Football League, one of the largest in the country and one of the best.
That's why they're here, with an opportunity to advance and go on to the championship and play Seattle. But can they move the football against this vaunted defense of Maryland? Maryland doesn't give up first downs. We said coming in, they've only given up a couple first downs all year, and so far they haven't cracked tonight either.
Roble and Bailey in the backfield. Lawrence on play action on 1st down, tossing that out for Darnell Jeffries. Man from Covington is 6'2". There was once upon a time a rumor he was a 7th grader, but look at big number 8. No, he's in 8th grade.
That's the size to be a 12th grader. Matt, doesn't it seem like there's more guys than 11 out on the field for the Maryland defensive unit?
I think it's just the speed that they have. They're reacting to the offense of Georgia, the formations and the sets. They're understanding it right away, processing it, and flying around. So it seems like there's more guys for sure. In fact, Trevor Lawrence, as he's taking that snap and rolling out, he has a chance to set in the pocket, but I think he's feeling pressure that's not really there. And if he sets his feet and makes that throw, he's got a chance.
2nd and 10 at their own 24. Just over a minute remaining in the quarter. And on the give, a good gash. And a first down on the night. Kenneth Harris. He's the fastest kid on the team, and he took that and took off. 11 yards, a first down.
Well, that'll make him feel better. And Kenneth Harris with a nice hard run, and you get an emotional win. You take baby steps, and you can see the forward progress there by Harris. After he was hit, he came forward another 6 or 7 yards, and he covered the football up smartly as they were trying to rip it out of there from him.
Well, in the game before this, we saw a Seattle team go against a defense and didn't give up any points, and we're in the same scenario here where this team from Georgia is going against a team that has not given up any points this year.
And rarely a first down. That's just the third in the tournament. That's a big reason why the push they have up front. It's Good and Boone. And a lot more White to set Georgia back.
Speaking of Good, it was Cameron Good that made the hit. He was on the 8th grade team last year. Maybe their best all-around lineman.
Winding down here towards the end of this first quarter. And that will indeed be the case. It is scoreless here. Georgia and Maryland. Hard hitting, some good D, just as we expected. Now to the fourth member of our team, Tyler Olson.
No problem. I got you. 20 seconds.
Down here on the sidelines with Coach Ryan Gildemeyer, Coach, perhaps the best for last, GFL Maryland, a classic rivalry here in the national championship. What's the key to the game here, my man?
Key to the game is being physical. Line of scrimmage. We got to win the line of scrimmage. We win the line of scrimmage. We can run the ball. Defense win the line of scrimmage. Then we're making plays with linebackers and DBs. We got to stop their pass. Their passing game is very good. We stop their run, then we go to their pass game. Be physical.
Scoreless first quarter, perhaps a defensive battle. I think that's the way you like it. What's the key on defense specifically?
Once again, we got to be physical. Defensive line's got to get vertical. We got to get pressure up front. Linebackers got to come up and make plays. We're not hitting hard right now. We basically be physical, like I said before.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We'll send it back up to you guys.
Well, we are back, and that was Tyler speaking with one of the Georgia assistant coaches as we begin play here in the second quarter. Lawrence under pressure, nearly sacked by Taylor, and then threw it to the feet of his intended receiver, Roble. So it is 3rd and 12 upcoming with the ball at the 33.
Oh, Georgia still needs to find an offense. They've got 1 first down, minimal yardage against that Maryland defense. You just elaborated on it. They've only given up 3 first downs in the entire tournament, and they're going to come after the quarterback here on 3rd down and long.
Play action for Lawrence, throws, got his man Jeffries, but it's shy of the first down to the 43. Going to stand in there by Lawrence to deliver the football.
And Jeffries had to pay the price. So you come over the middle like that, you're going to get hit. And Labby really delivered the blow.
How about Jeffries? 6'2", 204, 8th grader? I mean, he's got to be getting offers right now. And, you know, now at this day and age, teams aren't afraid to offer 8th graders. And you see guys make catches like that over the middle and take that big hit and hold on the ball. Coaches, they get excited.
And believe it or not, he's a better basketball player. As this one barely gotten away and taken by Stott, who was in some traffic, and then taken down at the 24. Maryland will have it for a 3rd time, a minute into this second quarter. Their road back to San Antonio, I'd say they fairly glided here, beating Hampton, Virginia 22-0 in the first round. Northern Virginia 28-zip in the second. Indiana, a very good team. They had a tightly contested game, their closest, winning 18-0. And then Massachusetts, which has been the 8th grade representative from the East the last 2 years, falling 32-zip. 7th grade champions, much of these kids from a year ago, plus some really good new additions. As they have it, 1st and 10 with Bonner, the new quarterback, and he throws and he's got his man. That's complete at the 30 with flags coming down, and forward ahead to the 32 The reception made, but we'll see if it stands up as Deontay Hill caught the pass. It's an ineligible downfield. Our referee once again on duty for a second game in a row, Tom McAfee. It's at both 8th grade semifinals.
You can't afford those kind of mistakes on either side because these defenses are too good, and you don't want to give away yards. And look at 1st and 15 behind the chains. It's tough to gain yardage against both sides. They're just two terrific defensive teams.
Bonner in the pistol. And he gives it away to Jackson, who ran into his own man. He was getting a block from Hill, but it forced him to the side, and Georgia snuffs it out. Loss of 3. So it's 2nd and 18 as Maryland going the wrong way.
Well, this 8th grade semifinal division, it's not the 8th grade tournament, it's the 8th grade division of defensive tournament teams because they all play terrific D. And we're not seeing the electrifying touchdowns in the semifinals in the 8th grade, but we're seeing wonderful defense.
Bonner, 2nd and 17. Gonna be sacked. This was the big storyline, and round 1 goes to the Georgia defensive front. Coming from all angles, Boomman George and Cooper.
I love Robert Cooper. I mean, he gets to the quarterback. There he is, number 70.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's an 8th grader, right? Did we get his birth certificate?
6 foot, 320 pounds, by the way. Another guy that's probably getting offered.
Comes from a very humble family. Great kid. And a Maryland timeout here, as they've got 3rd and 22. We'll step out scoreless in a defensive fight to start here on the 8th grade semifinal.
I try to just be the guy who's clutch at the end of the game. When the game's on the line, I want to be the guy with the ball with 2 minutes left. And I think more than anything, I just try to visualize myself being successful. Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Check me out on eastbay.com/Russell Wilson.
Randy, Matt, Tyler, our fine crew. As we are in the final game of the night for the right to play in the 8th grade FBU National Championship. Maryland and Georgia. Defensive dogfight. And the long throw on 3rd and 22 is incomplete. Raymond Boone deciding between McNamara or DeMatha, 2 pretty good schools in the Baltimore area. That's incomplete.
That was a catchable pass, and Bonner really showed his arm strength there, throwing it across the field on a line. That was a rope.
It really was, and not only arm strength, but his toughness to hang in the pocket and deliver passes while taking a hit. And you're expecting some help out of your receivers, and Raymond Boone's made a lot of those catches, and you need to make them in the big games.
Bonner punts, and we'll do it with Boomman George walking his way in there. Georgia didn't have a guy back to return. Could have been pretty favorable, but it's down at midfield anyway. And that's where they'll begin. So here comes this Georgia offense trying to find their groove. They beat Gulf Coast 13-0 in their first game, and then GMSAA, the Georgia Middle School, had a team, their athletic association, and got by them, much improved, 14-7. And a 28-7 win. A lot of people talking up Nashville. They got by them and then beat Southwest Florida 26-0. But it's unfair to compare them to the 8th graders, especially on offense from a year ago. 3 East Bay Youth All-Americans on that roster. D'Angelo Gibbs, Jamias Williams, and Davis Mills. You can see tomorrow night on ESPN3 in the USA 9th grade game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We're going to see a lot of great talent on the field at the Alamo Dome in that one, and that's going to be a treat for those looking in on ESPN3.
Ball right at midfield. 2nd and 9.
I don't remember a defense quite like this one from Maryland. I mean, they just don't give up any yards. There's no 5 or 6 yard gains. Everything's at the point of attack. They just dominate the line of scrimmage.
After a yard on 1st down, new quarterback is Joshua Campbell. He's the option threat, and he puts it on the ground. Turnover, Maryland ball at the Georgia 45.
Well, they went for the football. That was a good job of tackling for the football, knocking it loose. You're going to see that. You're going to see from the blind side, he never saw him coming.
Noah Boykin makes the heads-up play, number 38 right there, comes around. Instead of making the tackle, goes for the football. When you're hanging it out there, you go for it, knock it loose, and big turnovers in this 2nd quarter.
So earlier, the defense can do that for you. You can switch the field after you've struggled on the offense. It sets you up in primary position to capitalize.
Boykin with his youth team, Marshall Heights, a 3-time champ, but here's the defensive front, and it's looking like they're going to impose their will. Once again, Boom and George, Cooper, Sawyer, all flying at the Maryland signal caller, Doc Bonner.
Well, anything you can do, we can do better, says George, and Cooper tilts the field. Number 70 is a load on defense, and he is tough to handle. In fact, they have not been able to handle him to this point.
6 minutes remaining in the half. Bagels on the board. 2nd and 19 at their own 45 as they lost a healthy 9 on the toss. The run by Scott. Very tough to just get 3 yards there as they string to the outside well. See London Bailey get over to make the tackle, one of their biggest hitters.
It's always been my philosophy, Matt. I don't know how you think. When you have great defenses, you got to throw the football. You can't run it at them. They're too stout up front. So whichever team begins to throw the football will have the biggest advantage.
Well, you definitely got to mix it in and keep the defense honest. You can't try to run your head into a wall. There's got to be some kind of play action, maybe even some screens to slow down the defensive pressure.
Offset eye, Scott trying to cut it back. Well, they did well, but it was 3rd and 16. Near the original line of scrimmage.
It's a great effort. I mean, you can't fault the effort. But when you need that much yardage, you're just not going to get it. I mean, Georgia's defense is also very good, and so far they're matching Maryland play for play.
And the one thing that stands out to me on these two teams that we haven't seen all day is the size up front. There are some big dudes on both sides of this football right down there in the trenches.
It's important to note that a lot of these kids now, as 9th graders, will start on their varsities in a year. They go for it on 4th down, and what a run by Jackson. Well, Georgia looked like they weren't expecting it, and there's Jackson to run to the right behind Winokur and Gregory, and goes for 17 and a first.
I didn't expect this on 4th and 11. This really caught Georgia off guard, and Jackson, once he got through the initial crease, did the rest on his own. And that's a great run on the sideline to pick up the necessary yardage.
Rolling the dice early, and it pays off. I think that both coaches know how hard it is to gain yards and how many few possessions you're going to have. You got to take advantage of every possession.
1st down and 10 at the 29. So 17 yards on that 4th down and 11 call. We're inside of 4 minutes, a very quick-moving half. 8th grade national semifinals.
Both teams are obstinate. They want to run the football. They're not going to elect to throw it. And as long as the game's even, each side's going to stick with their game plan, and that's exactly what Maryland is doing. They want to run the football right at Georgia.
We've played almost 60 minutes in the 8th grade. Between the two games, we've seen 9 points. To pass, Bonner, quick hit over the middle, tipped, intercepted. What a phenomenal play by Chris Cotter. Run out of bounds, and Georgia takes it right back.
Welcome back, Cotter. The return by Cotter on the deflected ball, and maybe they should have stayed on the ground.
And really, it's a good play. Try to hit the tight end up the seam, but Cotter, I mean, sometimes you don't account for just great individual plays where he gets a hand on the ball and then keeps his eye on the ball and makes the interception.
To deflect the ball and get the ball. He deflected it to himself.
Well, as a coach, you're happy that you got a hand on the football, so you get a pass breakup, and all of a sudden the guy's aware enough to know that the ball's in the air, he can adjust his body and locate it.
So if you count the defensive stand and that interception, Georgia's D taking it away twice. They look to air it out here. Lawrence out of range. There was just too tight a coverage down that sideline. Noah Boykin, who was running stride for stride, and he was the one who came up with the strip on the fumble.
Well, both coaches now are electing to go to the air because they've realized that the running game has not been easy for them to pick up yardage and to pick up first down. So they're both trying to stretch the defenses and maybe open it up a little bit later. It's going back to the ground game.
And Randy, you got to keep the defense honest regardless. Even if you don't have completions, you take shots over the top just to let them know that you're still there.
On the snap, it's Lawrence cutting it near side, and a good run. Got a first down. Up to the 40-yard line he goes. Went for 13 yards.
13-yard ramble, and anytime you get a first down against Maryland, it's news. And Lawrence does a nice job. I love the determination. I love the fact that he gets the pad level down and runs forward. Again, the good tutoring of FBU.
We'll be hearing a lot of these names in the circuit in the upcoming years. Now Lawrence throws. The pocket breaks again. He shows he can run. And he runs right into the wall of Raymond Boone.
That'll drive a defense crazy, the ability of a quarterback to run by him like that. It's like you're playing on ice and he's on skates.
Yeah, it's one thing that can be demoralizing for a defense. You think you have everybody covered, and all of a sudden the quarterback steps up and gains 5-10 yards, and all of a sudden you think, how can we stop him? Ends up opening something else up.
He got 6. 2nd and 4. As they move towards midfield. And it's been Lawrence with his feet. And has given him some breathing room after the fantastic interception by Cotter. It's Dominguez ahead for about a yard.
If we're picking a play of the game, no question, Cotter's deflection and interception is the play of the game to this point that has kept this thing where it is 0-0.
Georgia will call timeout with 1:58 remaining in the half. A scoreless game, defensive, physical, as good as we thought it would be?
I think it's exactly what we expected. If anything, I'm a little bit surprised by how good Georgia is. I knew how good Maryland was. Georgia's right there with them, just like we saw in the last game when Seattle hung in and finally held off St. Louis. We felt that Maryland was the favorite team here, but Georgia's for real. They're a champion for a reason. They have that pedigree, and they're playing like champions again, and they got a good shot. I mean, this first half has been exactly what's on the scoreboard, dead even.
And you're the champ until you get beat. And in this case, they're both the champions. So you know they're both playing with a lot of pride. And although there's some new faces on the Georgia team, they still understand that they won the championship last year.
It's 3rd and 4. And a pre-snap flag. Procedure on Georgia. Everything's so striking and similar about these teams, even down to the uniforms, until Georgia had to change to green into this semifinal.
Again, guys, this goes back to coaching. Terrence Boyd, a terrific coach for Team Maryland, and Ken Burge for Georgia. These teams are well schooled.
Lawrence in the gun, pumps right, back the other way, a jump ball, and it falls incomplete. A dangerous throw, and now a late flag.
Broken out of the secondary by number 3, Jonathan Donnelly.
Donnelly was over there in coverage.
Injured player on the field, injury timeout.
Tough to make out the number on the Georgia player. As the flag looked to be for a late hit.
Didn't appear that there was interference.
No, that was clean.
Boy, and everything's magnified when you have two teams that are this close. So every call is critical.
Now that pass intended for Matthew Hill. Big game in the regionals. 250-yard touchdown reception is indeed the call, the late hit on the personal foul, and that's big. 15 yards and a first down.
Personal foul yardage moves the ball inside Maryland territory, the 43-yard line. Automatic first down.
Lawrence rolling left, completing, and slipping a couple of tackles before
Lawrence half completed out to 33, J.D. Farabee.
and he finds Farabee out there for the short gain.
Well, you got to get out of the pocket in a hurry against that rush. You can't hang in there very long. You don't have time to set up and throw the football.
No score. Inside the final 90 seconds of the half. Lawrence has taken all but one snap, and that led to a fumble. That pass again, Farabee the other way, near side to the 40 for 2 more yards. And a timeout, Georgia.
Matt, I don't know how you attack this team from Maryland. I mean, they cover all their bases.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think you just got to understand that it's going to be a grind. Hopefully your defense can maybe come up with a turnover, give you some good field position. But what it is sticking to your game plan, trying to find a way to pop one and make a big play.
So your game reset here. Georgia with 1 timeout remaining, 1:10 on the clock. Maryland 2 timeouts. As we wind down to the half, seeing some special talent. And all the FBU teams have showcased that throughout the tournament, but this is essentially the red carpet event here tonight in the national semifinal. Lawrence, one of the most crafty plays of this half on the offensive side have been with his feet, and he picks up another first down. Runs to the 31, and he's got 9 yards to move the sticks.
Yeah, the quarterback gets some help from his blocking back to turn the corner. And he's been a story on this drive, running the football, giving him that extra dimension with his feet.
Running here. Elusive, and spins for an extra yard that turns it out to about 4 in the middle to the 27-yard line. Evans, the tackle, he wears 58 for Maryland.
Got to go a little bit quicker, though. You're going inside of 30 seconds left in the half.
Lawrence is hit as he throws, and that should have been intercepted. Instead, it falls incomplete. Lawrence is not getting up.
That's what happens when you hang in the pocket like that against the ferocious hitters of Maryland. And let's hope that Lawrence is okay. Boy, it is a tough game. It's
so courageous, but so dangerous.
It's the glory position, but it's not always fun. And I know, Matt, you can speak to it. Everybody wants to be the quarterback, but once you get hit a couple times, You start to think about it, don't you?
Well, you know what? There is no better feeling than taking that hit and completing a pass down the field. And right here, Lawrence hangs in the pocket, but you know, a guy comes off the edge unblocked on your backside. You don't see him, so you make the throw. And what happens is you take a shot right in your back, and you don't have a chance to protect yourself. And now you see Lawrence down, and it may be one of those things where he got shooken up a little bit, but I'm certain, knowing the circumstances and being in the semifinals, you'd expect him to probably bounce back and find a way back in this ball game.
Well, the good news is he's sitting up, and that's encouraging, and now he comes to his feet. And we saw the opponent from the Maryland team applauding him the fact that he was healthy. Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt here, and I love the fact that these teams respect one another and encourage one another. And we're very pleased to see that their quarterback on the other side was healthy.
The intended receiver was Jeffries. And that pressure coming off the right side of the line. Harris and good. Well, Lawrence comes out, Campbell comes in, and there's movement. Casey Holman, the left guard, and that'll back him up 5. 23 seconds. This is Georgia's deepest penetration of the half. But it makes it 3rd and 11 now at the 33.
Yeah, but Lawrence, the guy that got him there with his feet, is out of the lineup after taking that hit. So someone else has got to make the play.
There's the young man from Atlanta at 5'10". A chest pass on the option, and it's broken free to the 10. And what a run from Chris Dominguez. With 14 seconds, then the clock is stopped.
Well blocked, well executed, and a near score. That's as close as anyone has come to scoring against Team Maryland.
Kind of unorthodox with the option pitch there, but it worked nonetheless. Dominguez, he's 2nd or 3rd on the depth chart, the Peachtree Ridge kid, and make some special plays. We'll keep it here, the final 14 seconds of the half. A scoreless affair.
Neil, I'm with you. High snap on the first play there for Campbell, and does a good job catching the ball. I think he just wanted to get it to the ball carrier, and did a good job getting to Dominguez. And sometimes it's not exactly how you draw it up, but you find a way to get the ball carrier the ball.
Georgia still has a timeout on the pocket.
But can they finish the drive? It's been beautifully engineered, but can they finish?
Timely runs. Campbell slips inside. Down to the 6. You're down to 6 seconds. You have a timeout. A pretty good kicker. And they take it down to 3 seconds.
Well, they're playing for the field goal. There's no question about it. Trying to get into the locker room with a score and a lead.
Will Van Pamelin. This is one of Ken Burge's thought processes through the years. He didn't have a good kicker in 2011. They lost to Central Florida by 2 points. He upped that ante last year, helping them tremendously. And now, as they take their final timeout, they're in position to take the first points of the game, the first point scored on Maryland in the tournament.
And they positioned it with the run to the exact spot that they felt most comfortable for this kicker.
So this is from 24 yards. He is a lefty. Snap and hold. Good. And the kick is good. And here at the half, Georgia has struck for the first points of the tournament on Maryland. but oh so close. It's 3-0 over the red and white from the Chesapeake.
Well, that was a great strategy to go for the field goal, go into the locker room with the advantage, play the percentages, don't gamble and try to go downfield and have something wrong happen and turn it over and take the 3 points.
We will step out. We'll come back with more at Wheatley Stadium in San Antonio. It's halftime, the final game of the night, the 8th grade FBU National Championship semifinals. Georgia 3, Maryland nothing.
Down here on the sideline, Tyler Olson joined by two folks that are part of this incredible crew that have been putting on this production throughout the day. You guys got here at 5:30 in the morning, and they're still going strong here in the wee hours of the night. Let's introduce yourselves here to the broadcast.
Well, my name is Oriolua Debo, but I go by Ori, and I attend Southwest High School in Fort Worth, Texas.
And my name is Daisy Garcia, and I attend Saginaw High School in the Eagle Mound Saginaw ISD School District.
Talk a little bit about what it's like as a high schooler to be putting on a production like this great caliber of football with a national audience. How does it fit into your career path as well?
It's a really great experience, actually, because not only do you actually get to see what it's like in this field, but you actually get the hands-on experience. And it also opens opportunities immensely to have another opportunity just like this. And especially it fits in my career because I'm really into broadcasting and stuff like this. And I just know that now that I know, I mean, it's really hard. It's been a really hard experience, but now that I know what it is and what it feels like, I know that it's what I want to do, and it just really gives you an ideal image of how it's like in the real world in this field. Awesome, awesome. And Ori, you actually moved here from Africa. Okay, talk about what the transition was like, not only from that, but also coming into this program and kind of learning this field a little bit.
Well, I came here when I was around 5 and 6, and the thing was, it was hard for me to fit in. So when I got introduced to football, actually, I learned how to show who I am through the field. And when I came to Southwest High School my freshman year, I was introduced to the media program, and that just totally changed the way I view my life. And it's really incredible the way I can actually put both of them together through this whole past week, and it's a great experience.
Great stuff, great stuff. Ori and Daisy, you guys are destined for greatness, I'm sure, as is everybody here in this crew. You guys have done a phenomenal job. Good luck to you. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
Okay, let's see it.
Once you see what FBU video training can do for your game, you won't want to stop. Football University Video Training. Turn it on.
Is he okay?
My journey to the pros was kind of different than a lot of people's, and I knew the challenges were against me, but I've always liked being the underdog in life. Hi, I'm Dane Fletcher, linebacker for the New England Patriots. For more on me, check out eastbay.com/Dane Fletcher.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting nominations for its nationwide camps. We teach cutting-edge techniques, drills, and mental aspects of the game to increase your football IQ and make you a better player. Our instructors are current and former NFL coaches, the same coaches that train today's NFL stars. FBU is by invitation only, so score an invite today at footballuniversity.org.
Cecil Martin here again from NCSA Athletic Recruiting. It is crucial that you are proactive in the recruiting process at a young age. Make sure you don't sit back and let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass you by. Visit our website to educate yourself on the vital steps that you need to take to make your dream become a reality.
I try to just be the guy who's clutch at the end of the game. When the game's on the line, I want to be the guy with the ball with 2 minutes left. And I think more than anything, I just try to visualize myself being successful. Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Check me out on eastbay.com/Russell Wilson.
I've been playing chess since I was 9 years old. It helps me anticipate my opponent's next move. Chess prepares my mind for battle. Because victory requires my strength, my speed, and my intelligence. My name is Ray Rice, and I'm an enlightened warrior.
Introducing the Youth Football Coaches Association, the premier online resource dedicated to improving coaching effectiveness and promoting youth safety for all volunteers. Register free at yfbca.org and begin receiving free youth coaching information, monthly newsletters, certification, and background checks. The most up-to-date concussion information, drills for all positions and skill levels. Learn all types of offensive and defensive plays. Join us at yfbca.org, where we are making good coaches great teachers.
We're back for the start of the second half. Wheatley Stadium in San Antonio. Neil Sika, Matt DeRazio, Randy Rosenblum, and is a defensive stalemate, much like our first 8th grade semifinal won by Seattle 6-3. It is 3-0 Georgia, with Will Van Pamelen the field goal from 24 yards as the first half expired. Big hits, defensive lines, linebackers, turnovers, stuff that makes championship teams great. The defense was prevalent on both sides.
Well, you can't make mistakes. Everything's magnified. You're in the national semifinals. You have two great defenses. There's the absence of the big play, so it's the small things. You need a quarterback who's able to run and break down that defense of Maryland just enough to get yourself into field goal range, and you don't try to get too much. I like the fact that Georgia didn't try to push the envelope, and they settled for the field goal, and now they can rely on that defense in the second half. And there's some pressure on Maryland here because for the first time in the tournament they trail.
Yeah, and the defense has really showed up. And we talked about how not giving up many points, only 3 points for Maryland, but on only 5 first downs in the first half. And even better than that was Georgia's defense, only giving up 3 first downs and 77 total yards. So these defenses are battling out, and it's come down to really a big play here or there, and someone who loses focus or someone who takes advantage of an opportunity.
Isn't this a replay? Didn't we see this scenario just develop with St. Louis and Seattle? Is this a replica? History's repeating.
Well, one of the things we talked about, Randy's rules at the start of the game, would Maryland be able to pass on the defensive front? And that has been a big fat no right now. 0 for 4 with just 1 yard. And much of that yardage they accomplished on offense came on the opening drive from Labby, who's running for 54. Trevor Lawrence has kind of been the X factor here. He took that big hit, but on the ground, 33 yards rushing.
And it came on that late drive that set up the one score, the 1 3-pointer. So again, when there's little to separate, it's a play here or a play there, it's going to make the difference. So a turnover, it could be a big play on a specialty team, a kick return for a score. That could be the difference. And who knows, maybe the 3-0 will hold up. I don't think so, but I didn't think 6-3 would hold up in the last game.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if Lawrence comes back in the second half. At halftime, you get a chance to get evaluated and see if he was able to come back because of such a huge factor he plays in this game. We'll see what he can do.
He did walk off under his own power, and he's going to want to come back. The factor is, will they let him play?
Joshua Campbell finished off on the final 2 plays before the field goal. Maryland kicking off, and on the move, Georgia in green returning. And up and out, it's Kenneth Harris to the 33. That's where they'll start on offense, or check that, the 28. And we'll see Campbell get the call. Trevor Lawrence is on the sideline. His helmet is off. And any thought of a head injury or questions that might have serious effects later, take the risk. And you've got 2 good signal callers. Campbell, the more elusive one, the option guy, and he is buried as he gets out of the backfield and gets about 3 before being squashed down at the point of the attack by Sincere Jackson, who's actually played more of a role on defense for this team, yet touted as a wide receiver, which he is in his youth league.
Great name, too, Sincere. And he's sincere the way he plays football because he gives you passion for the game.
Just underway in the third. 3-0 Georgia. And this is not going anywhere. Tried to slip Harris around on the jet. And the Maryland pursuit is excellent. They've got Devin Petrillo coming across, and Jalen Brown as well to set up a 3rd and long.
Just don't make a mistake. You're the backup quarterback, you're behind the chains, you still have the lead. Punting's never a bad option.
3rd and 12 at the 26. Somewhat conservative route to the flat. As it's caught. And down
okay,
goes Ellerby.
Turn the ball over there. I don't have a problem with that play call being conservative.
Yeah, Randy, there's a famous coach that used to coach in Columbus, Ohio, said the greatest play in football was the punt. And, you know, he really developed his whole program around it and actually won a national championship on the same premise.
Who's that coach?
Some call him Jimmy T. Don't mess with Tressel.
And you played for him.
Farabee kicks away. You know, we could just tell people to flip on the Orange Bowl. I'm sure they're reminiscing at some point.
Why are you showing your Ohio State colors?
Well, Maryland off the punt that was not very good, has excellent field position here.
Now, here's what has to happen. Georgia still has to match Maryland's intensity. Maryland came out and, you know, sent a message defensively. Got the ball out of Georgia's hands quickly, takes over in great field position at the Georgia 40. Now Georgia has to step it up defensively.
Doc Bonner. He's got that great arm, but haven't seen much of it because of that Georgia defensive front. Rashard Jackson trying for some tough yards in that A-gap. Hensley bouncing off of his own man, Evan Gregory.
And at times, as an offensive coordinator, you can get frustrated. I mean, obviously, no yards. You're used to scoring points. You're used to running the ball, throwing the ball, doing what you want. And the key is to stay patient on both sides of the ball here offensively. Just stay patient, stick to your game plan.
Quite easy to be patient, though, when you have the lead.
Gain of 2 there. Jeremy Mensah. Haven't called his name much on offense. He's a new player to this 8th grade edition. Usually stacking up 5 yards a carry, but not there.
I bet you Mensah's the smartest guy in the team.
Well, these Georgia defensive calls are looking the most academic right now. 3 minutes gone on the third in a 3-0 game. Bonner finally has time, and the pass incomplete. It was intended for Taylor. Don't know if he dropped it or the fingertips of Malloy or Nick Prince got a piece.
You know, slant pattern, and he was able to go stride for stride with the receiver and deflect it away.
Fourth and 8. And Maryland will talk it over with the ball at the Georgia 38. It's the best penetration they've had since the opening drive. And while we have a moment, let's check in with Tyler.
Thanks, fellas. Down here on the sideline, I talked with members of the Maryland coaching staff at halftime, and the game plan remains the same. No panic, although they snapped a 17-quarter streak without giving up a point. The game plan remains the same. Execute, play our game, and we'll be fine. Back up to you guys.
All right. So you get the comments there of Terrence Bird and Maryland. 6:50 remains in the third quarter. Will we see a touchdown? I guess that's the new question to ask.
That's a big if. Maryland hopes so, and they hope it comes real soon, and they hope they can convert this drive because they have the field position to score.
Bonner out of the pistol. He's given some time, and it's incomplete. It goes off of Tremaine Stott. Should have had it, and a
yeah, that was the best pass protection of the game for Maryland, and they still couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, and a well-thrown football in the right place. And just, everybody's got a role. You've got to live up to your role, and that part, Stott's supposed to catch the ball as he's running a nice route, and the ball hits him right in the chest. And if one guy, doesn't do it, then all 11 fail on that possession.
Trevor Lawrence is back in. And on the opening snap of this possession, he's sacked. Whirled to the ground. You got Jalen Brown in there.
A couple more hits like that for Brown, and Lawrence won't hang around on his line. He has to be protected better than that.
Well, good news is he's back in the game. Bad news is, you're going to be a little hesitant. You took that hit. It's going to take a couple plays to kind of get back in the groove of things.
Sprint draw to the 40. To the sack back, and then maybe a yard.
Certainly helps, though, to take the pressure off the quarterback if you can have a running game to aid and abet him, and that was a better job of blocking and running and getting into the second line of defense.
That was the Smyrna man, Nolan Edmonds. 3rd and 9. About to crawl up on the midpoint of this third quarter. Humming along with the defenses leading the way. Lawrence looking up top to pick out in that zone, and it's incomplete. Just trying to fit it in there to Matthew Hill. When they've looked deep, they've looked for him, but it's 4th down coming up.
And there's just not a lot of holes in that Maryland defense. No place to put the football. They're going to have to give it away. You just wonder, can Georgia match defensive stops the entire night? So far, they've been able to do it, and actually one better than Maryland.
5th punt of the game, 3rd by Georgia. I'm going to send Blue Man George out there. And Maryland, maybe thinking there could be a fake. They block the punt. And it's picked up by Cameron Good. And he falls down at the 20. And Maryland's in business as the special teams making plays.
Yeah, 99 with the return. And I talked about that. It may be a special teams play that could be the decider. And Maryland gets the breakthrough. And let's see if they can capitalize and finish up and take it the final 21 yards and finally get in the house and take the lead.
And it came from George Jr. coming on the field late, maybe not being in the right position, came right off the edge where he was, not knowing his assignment, and that's a sign of a good player taking advantage of a guy that's not sure of what he's doing.
DeMatha, St. John's, and Gonzaga, all high schools that want Cameron Good to play for them. Labby, really explosive to the hole, but had to do all that just to lose a yard.
Yeah, Labby is explosive, Neil, but since the early part of the football game, he has not been able to break through, and that's just a great tribute to the Georgia defense.
Second and 12 at the 22. Mensah. And again, just tough to get anything more than 3 yards in a cloud, as they say.
You know, you're going right where I was thinking. You being an Ohio State guy, the late Woody Hayes would love this game. I mean, this is his kind of game. You know, 3 yards in a cloud of dust was his theory. Here you don't have it with these nice turf fields, but really it's a yard here and a yard there, and maybe a bit more than that on third down, but very tough to get anything.
3 yards and a black pellet in the face. Bonner's going to throw. And he was going to put that where either Raymond Boone was going to catch it or nobody was. Mentioned earlier, DeMatha out of the D.C. area giving him a strong look for his high school years, but it is incomplete, and 4th down and 11 at the 22. So they haven't been able to do anything after the Cameron Good block punt and recovery.
Yeah, they don't have the same faith in their kicking game as Georgia. Georgia played for the field goal, and that's the difference here. And now you got to go for it on 4th down when you don't have the confidence that you can knock it through for 3.
Mensah, Jackson in the backfield with Bonner. Here comes the pressure, and he's tackled by the shoelaces. Herbert Winborn from Lawrenceville. He's quick as lightning, and that's why he makes the tackle.
From behind, Winborn never giving up on the play, and the shoestring tackle. Just when it looked like the quarterback was going to get out there and maybe, just maybe, pick up the necessary yardage.
And Winborn's one of the smallest guys in the D-line, 5'8", 160, but taking advantage of his quickness and his ability to react to the ball carrier and laying out and making a great play.
At the 22, so they gain nothing on 4 downs after that block punt, and Lawrence back in there. Much better contained here by Maryland, not allowing Lawrence to get out and run, and the pass is incomplete. Looking for Farabee, who's kind of been his release point in the flat when he's gotten into trouble.
Maryland defense pushes you around. You're retreating as a quarterback, just scrambling for plays each and every time. Nothing seems to formulate. You can't set up against Maryland. You're on your heels on every play.
Lawrence, that's incomplete. I'll tell you what, this is a lot of fun. 3:47 remaining in the third. It's 3-0. It hasn't been flawless by any means on both sides in terms of execution, but the defenses are so good. There's so many football games across the board now that are played like basketball, high scoring. This is quite refreshing.
It's different. There's no question about it. And you have to just respect the talent and the kind of talent you have, and the talent is on the defensive side of the football for both sides.
Lawrence, they go back to the exact same route. Different receiver this time. That's Derek Allen. He's made some big plays in the secondary throughout the tournament. Makes this 4th in a consideration, but Ken Burge knows what he has in his defense, so won't do anything silly now. Just need better punt protection as they bring on the unit on 4th and 4. And Pamelin has provided the only points, a 24-yard field goal as time expired. This time he's able to get it away. Jermaine Stott is back there. He'll let it go out. And Maryland takes over at the 43. 3:03 remaining in the third. 3-0 Georgia.
Ken Burge and staff, though, are asking a lot of toughness from their defense, because that defense is out there a lot. Maryland, to me, it seems like they've possessed the football most of the night, and you just wonder, can you go the distance? Can you go 40 minutes and blank a Maryland team that's been so good in the tournament? If anyone can do it, it's the kids from Georgia.
Yeah, the ball 3 more minutes at the half, did Maryland. Maybe one of their longest runs since that first half as Jackson slashes off the left for 5.
Yeah, Jackson's a nice looking running back as well. And that's a good start for Maryland. They have the field position. They get a nice drive from Jackson on the 1st down carry. But can they continue against Georgia? Georgia's been up to every solution when needed.
Jackson again. They run strong again to that side. Into Georgia territory to the 48. Pick up a 4. It's 3rd and 1.
This isn't fancy. It's not pretty. It's between the tackles, but it's getting the job done through the first 2 downs.
Yeah, Randy, no nonsense. Not looking to cut, not looking to make anything. Just running, getting the ball, running straight ahead and trying to get the first down.
Maybe we'll see a screen here or another draw, but draw may be out because it's 3rd and short, but a screen play against that furious rush may not be a bad idea down the road.
Instead, they will just work Jackson back the other way, and he's got the first. So 3 straight runs, Rashard Jackson to the 45. They'll move him. It'll stop the clock briefly, and then back to action with 1:49 remaining in the 3rd.
I love the patience of Team Maryland to start this drive, understanding that it's not going to be easy to score on Georgia, and taking a little here and a little there.
Jackson on the toss. Does he have the speed to win the race to the edge? It's tied up and taken down at the 40. And Sinclair is in there for Georgia out of Norcross. They are just athletes. And you remember Jared Simpkins from last year on that team, doing some great things. He hails from the same area, does Sinclair. 4 kids to be exact. Under a minute in the 3rd. Bonner on 2nd and 4. And just as they were starting to look like they were finding their groove again on the run, they run into Booman. And they should be scared wherever he is.
Well, Booman is the man. I mean, and every time you just get the sense that Maryland is going to break through, and they establish the ground game, Georgia's defense disrupts it, makes a play, and puts Maryland in a position now where it's 3rd and a little bit more challenging.
Third and 7. Could be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Against a 5-man front. Somewhat of an abnormal looking sprint draw where Stott tried to work the feet but only could get back to the 40. And that will do it with 30 minutes in the books. Georgia did not trail for 13 quarters of this tournament. They've trailed the last 2. As we take it down to Tyler Olson, the man that everyone knows by the word wow, the commish, Trey McNeil.
Thanks, guys. Joined here on the sideline by the commissioner of the national championship, Trey McNeil. And Trey, what a day it was. We started off early in the morning with the 6th graders, still going here late into the night. A full day of football, fantastic from start to finish. Talk about what this means for the national championship. We're only in the semifinals.
Amazing. Well, you know what you're going to get from me? You're going to get a big wow of football for today, right? You know, what a great day of football. You know, starting off with the 6th graders. Had some great winners there. 7th grade, just some smash mouth football all the way around. And the 8th grade, wow, what a difference in size you have just from 6th grade to 8th grade. These kids turn from, like, you know, young kids to men, and so it's a great day of football so far.
Absolutely. And looking ahead to Sunday now, the final matchups for the 6th grade, North Texas and Georgia. What do you see there?
Wow, this is going to be a great game. You know, Georgia's got a really big line. North Texas dominated quite a bit, and it's just going to be a great game in the Dome for 6th grade, 7th grade, and then can't wait to see who wins this game.
Iowa, South Florida, 7th grade.
Big matchup, big line.
The 9, Bonner brought down. Nick Prince on the safety blitz brings down the Maryland quarterback, and it's a turnover on downs.
Boy, Princeton wasn't fooled at all on that one. Prince came in with that furious rush, and again, to the task, answering the call defensively.
So a 4th down begins the 4th quarter. Georgia taking it back over. The 2nd time the defense has turned Maryland over on downs. So an interception. Officially the pass out to the flat. The turnover story rather is one apiece.
A little risky there. toss it to the perimeter like that, but Georgia able to get away with it, although they didn't pick up anything.
You got to be careful if you're Lawrence. You're trying to make plays as a quarterback, but you don't want to do too much. I mean, right now, offensively, once again, talk about ball security in the situation, and you don't want to put your defense in a bad situation. They bailed you out the entire game and dominated this football game. Don't turn the football over and put them in a bad spot.
2nd and 11. Just shy of midfield. Lawrence, look out. Whitaker.
Well, Whitaker got him, but he had trouble holding on to the snap initially, and the play never developed and got blown up. Very tentative on the first couple plays here for Georgia offensively, and they're going in the wrong direction.
Clock is running. Early stages of the 4th quarter. 3-0. And on 3rd down and 19, they'll give them 5. Just a little too antsy.
5-yard penalty, moves the ball up to the 46.
And it's creeping in over
3rd down.
was Sean Evans.
Yeah, he made the mistake, but I love his enthusiasm for the game, and penalty won't hurt him here.
Making it 3rd and 14 at the 46.
At least you would think it won't hurt him. It's tough to get 14 yards of real estate against this Maryland D. But it does give Georgia a better opportunity.
2 receivers. Lawrence has an open man. It's caught at the 25 and down to the 11. On 3rd and 14, Matthew Hill, the big play receivers, got it.
Yeah, you read my mind, Neil. The first big play of the game, really, and a perfect strike. And look at the separation there. Ball's a little bit slow to get there, or it would have been a touchdown. Still a pretty good throw. A little bit more air under it, it would have been a touchdown. You got to love the fact that Hill was able to separate and give Georgia a golden opportunity to put themselves in a winning position with a touchdown.
I can even ask the question, even though it was 5 yards, does that change the frame of mind to put you in a different position to call a different play you had thought on 3rd and 19?
It could definitely change that, but the one thing we saw there that you don't ever see out of this Maryland secondary was a blown coverage. Let the guy just go, and with some miscommunication, now a big 1st down inside the red zone.
They can get a 1st down inside the 1 as they're outside the 10, and that is relentless pursuit by the team in white. Angry at that last sequence. Good was in there. He's had another stud performance as we hit 7 minutes remaining in the game.
Well, the odds are still on Maryland's side. Again, they haven't given up a touchdown in 5 games, and they're a proud unit, and they know they blew that assignment, and they want to hunker down and get the stop. Of course, if you're Georgia, you don't want to settle for another field goal. You'll take another field goal if you have to and go up 6-0, but you want to get that touchdown and really put, Maryland at bay.
Lawrence on the give straight ahead, and that ball nearly came out, but they'll rule down the runner, Nick Prince. There's one of 4 guys that will get carries at any times, and his knee touched just outside the 10, so another massive play here. 3rd and 10 at the 11.
And you wonder how aggressive Georgia will get right here. 3 points obviously puts them up by 6, but a touchdown here with maybe a little play action. You get 6 points, this thing may be over.
Yeah, Matt, that's my point. I mean, I think you have to look for the touchdown. Again, you'll take the 3 if you have to, but still, I mean, 3 is not going to put them out of the game, and 6 probably will.
Well, Georgia, knowing how important things are lying in the balance, will call the timeout.
It's always
She has 2 left.
It's always a risk reward when you throw the football down there, but I think the reward is greater than the risk this time when you're ahead 3-0.
We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. 3-0 Georgia with 5:47 left.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting nominations for its nationwide camps. We teach cutting-edge techniques, drills, and mental aspects of the game to increase your football IQ and make you a better player. Our instructors are current and former NFL coaches, the same coaches that train today's NFL stars. FBU is by invitation only, so score an invite today at footballuniversity.org.
My journey to the pros was kind of different than a lot of people's, and I knew the challenges were against me, but I've always liked being the underdog in life. Hi, I'm Dan Fletcher, linebacker for the New England Patriots. For more on me, check out eastbay.com/Dan Fletcher.
It is 3rd and 10 at the 11. As they go out of the eye, and Lawrence on up play action, completing the pass, and a huge hit down around the 2. London Bailey makes the grab, and he is stopped, and he looks to be shy of the potential first down. And a Maryland player is the one with the injury.
Yeah, Bailey delivered the blow there and nearly scored. And I mean, an interesting play call coming up. It'll be 4th down and about a yard to go. And you can take the 3 and go up 6. One would think they'll go for the knockout blow, or what could be the knockout blow for Georgia if they can score against Maryland here and get it to more than a 1-score game.
4th and 1.
And it's not a gimme. I mean, it's like the NFL. On 4th and 1 in the NFL, it's a passing down. And against Maryland, it's not easy to pick up 1 yard. They're tough to gash. And they'll have all those guys loaded up in the box.
So it's unanimous? You're going for it right now? You're not kicking the field goal?
I don't kick the field goal. No, they may kick the field goal. I wouldn't kick it. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I really don't think there's anything to gain necessarily for getting 3 more points. We know Maryland, has no kicking game, so they're not going to ever kick a field goal at this point. They're going to have to score a touchdown to take the lead. And so if you can get the yard here, get the first down, maybe a touchdown, this thing's certainly going to be out of reach.
Plus, if you don't make it, you leave them 99 yards away. So, I mean, to me, it's not even a chance.
4th and 1 at the 2. They can pick up another first down. He was down there after the big hit and collision. Maryland's Nami Brown. Also on that very good Marshall Heights team. He's okay. So here they go with the power. Out of the eye. Nolan Edmonds is the man behind, but they go straight ahead. Touchdown.
All the credit in the world to Georgia.
Chris Cotter, the first man through. He had the big interception. And he's got maybe the toughest touchdown of his young football career right there.
Yeah, Maryland thought they had the stop. Cotter got it to the end zone and probably sealed the deal with 5:19 to play. This becomes a large lead the way these teams play.
Cotter also holds as the extra point. There was a whistle, even though it was booted through. I'm going to replay this. It's the call on Maryland.
We'll retry the kick. That Hamilton lines up.
In any regard, they'll kick it again.
9-yard line.
Van Pamelin. No problem there. 10-0. It may feel like 30 the way this game has gone with 5:19 left.
Again, we advertised Maryland, how great their defense was, and the fact that they were explosive on offense. the Georgia's defense has been great. And their offense has been just good enough to put a touchdown and a field goal up. And they're only 5 minutes and change away from going back to the Alamo Dome, the friendly confines of the Alamo Dome where they've won championships before.
Well, some of these 8th graders from Georgia last year, the 7th graders, they lost to South Florida. On the road to San Antonio. But now here, trying to defend that 8th grade title as the 8th graders in 2013. Short kick, Maryland's got a lot of work to do. They have 2 timeouts with 5:13 remaining and need 2 scores. So, gentlemen.
Well, you can't pick it up in one play. So you just got to do what you do best, but you got to execute. And Maryland has not been able to execute against this Georgia defense. They've kept them off balance the whole night.
Even in the times that they've had good pass pro, they've had drops. They've had opportunities to make plays in the passing game. They haven't helped out the quarterback, Doc Bonner.
And in games, you know, this close of a margin, you got to make the big plays. They could get away with that when they were beating teams by 20, 30, 40 points, but not when you're playing Georgia.
On the 42, Bonner throws. That's caught. And then dropped. It's exactly the type of play we're talking about. Right in the hands, and then the hit. And that Georgia secondary loosens the reins. 2nd and 10.
Again, you love the aggressiveness of Georgia. They're not relaxing with the lead.
And that's going to be key. Staying aggressive, but not so much you let somebody sneak behind you or you don't make a great tackle. Continue to do what they've been doing all game, is playing fundamental football.
Deontay Hill had it. Bonner stepping up. Great protection. Has his man. It's Hill. Making up for the drop. And in the biggest way possible. Touchdown, Maryland. And they've awoken in 2 plays as Bonner with the 58-yard toss to the speedster.
Yeah, Hill got wide open, and it started with great protection. And where has this been all night long? Well, suddenly it gets you back in the game, and with your great defense, now you've made it a 1-score game. And so you're very much a part of this contest.
How about Doc Bonner stepping up in the pocket, textbook, back foot, lead foot, doesn't panic and run out of there, and delivers a strike on that seam route, and just well done there, and something, you know, well overdue here for this offense.
And now a ton of time still with which to work. 4:58 remaining in 2 plays, 58 yards. Bonner to one of the best athletes on the team in Deontay Hill. He's out of Washington, D.C. Trying to find a way to keep him involved like so many of their athletes. They finally broke through. Bonner again, slipping, throwing, broken up on the 2-point conversion try. And here is the point to which you make, Matt, Austin Fontaine, whose alignment is their kicker. The faith maybe to take the PAT and be in 3-point range, so they trail by 4. Still knowing they need 2 scores, but 4:58 left. Maryland is on the board.
Yeah, that does take the kicking element out of it for Maryland. They're going to have to score a touchdown to win the game. And if you're Georgia, you're thinking first downs now, which is not easy to get against Maryland. They came in with only 2 allowed in the entire tournament. So you got to feel confident for Team Maryland that you're going to get the ball back. And if you're Georgia, you're thinking 2, perhaps 3 first downs to seal the deal.
And guys, are you thinking hands team out here, onside kick? Is that one of those deals, or can the defense get 3 and out and try to get the ball back for the offense?
I wouldn't onside kick it, not with that defense. You could, but I wouldn't.
Well, to go back to your point, the last time out, the only thing that prevented them from getting the football back was the blown coverage on 3rd and 14. hung tough before just by the slimmest of margins. Cotter took it in for the touchdown from 1 yard out. Two-play drive, 58 yards as Fontaine picks it off pretty well down to the 20. Now in pursuit is Maryland, seething after that score. Their fans, their sideline fired up. And how will Georgia respond with the football now at their own 16, and the game still very much in the balance?
And you can't get conservative or too conservative at Georgia because the Maryland defense is too good. And if you run straight at them, it's not probable that you're going to pick up a first down. So you have to play this straight. You're up 4 points, but you need first downs to put it away.
Randy, you read my mind. Oftentimes, offensive coordinators get in this situation, they get super conservative, give the ball right back, and end up losing the football game. You've got to stay somewhat aggressive, mix it up a little bit, maybe even throw a wrinkle in here or there to keep them honest.
Well, before we have action on this drive, GFL-Georgia with the timeout. They have one left now, 4:46 remaining. It's been a slugfest all game, and then you knew all the drama would come here in the last 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, and I like the way Bono threw the ball in the last drive. Not just the one touchdown, but even on the two-point conversion, which was broken up, he threw the ball effectively. So the Maryland offense, for the first time tonight, is full of confidence. They're on the sideline knowing how good that defense is, and they want to get the ball back now. They feel good about themselves. They want to crack at trying to pull it out.
6-3 Seattle. That was our first 8th grade semifinal. And their D rose to the top. A missed field goal at the end, sending them to the championship. And the winner of this one will meet on Sunday evening.
I think the over and under on the championship game will probably be about 10 points.
Lawrence scrambling on the rollout. And he's got the pass complete. Over the 25 and near the 30 goes Cole Roble.
And I love the play call, Matt. This is not being conservative and opening up the playbook.
Exactly what the doctor ordered right there. A little waggle pass, get the quarterback on the move, hit the guy in the flat, nice easy safe pass, good decision, good completion, first down.
Ken Burge in the Gwinnett Football League has won 3 of the last 5 titles at the 8th grade level. He's been a youth coach for 29 years. And I'm sure he's been in this situation quite a bit. 4.5 remaining. Roble runs right through the middle. Got about 4 there. Maryland has 2 timeouts.
Good game though on first down. Again, by passing on the previous down to get the first down, you keep that Maryland defense just off balance enough where you can hit them for a 4 or 5 yard gain on first down, and there's a lot more options when it's second and negotiable rather than second and long.
I formation. The Channis defense from the Maryland fans. And now you have fingers pointing on both sides. And it was Georgia indeed who moved prematurely. And now that totally changes the rhythm.
You just can't do that at this stage of the game. Now it gets even more difficult against that Maryland D.
.350 and counting. 10-6 Georgia. He'll split out on that far side. He's their big play threat. Lawrence, though, will look for Jeffries, the big man in the middle. And look at him grind his way close to a first down, up around the 38.
Beautiful play fake here. And maybe the best throw of the game. I mean, that's right on line in a big situation. And it's a first down. So despite that penalty, Georgia able to come through, and they're closing in. And it's dire straits time for Maryland. They can ill afford to allow another first down.
You know, it's funny how it plays out sometimes. How about the Georgia offensive line in crucial situations tonight, giving Lawrence the time to throw?
Giving him time to throw and then hitting the guy Jeffries over the middle. A couple yards short of that first down, but he was determined to get that first down, carried defenders with him the extra yards.
They've picked up 2 on this drive with 2 tight ends, and they bull ahead. And a tackle made. Sean Evans bringing down Cole Roble. And a timeout. Maryland takes their second. Each team with 1 left. 2:48 to determine who heads to the Alamo Dome. Well, this has been, as it usually is to start the new year, a fun day, but a long day for so many folks. Our great FBU staff, our great TV crew, and their man hours doing a fine job, a fantastic job through 6 games. And Tyler Olson, our sideline man. Randy, Neil, and Matt here with you, closing out this one. And then don't want to miss out on the great series we have coming, the East Bay Youth All-American Bowls and the FBU National Championships on ESPN3. Beginning tomorrow night at 8:30, the East Bay USA 9th grade game. 3 championships Sunday, and then the 7th and 8th grade games as well. We'll have it for you from the Alamo Dome. On the give, it's London Bailey chipping away. And it's going to be 3rd and 1. All of a sudden, Maryland seems helpless against what Georgia's running game wants to do.
Stretch play, and it was successful, and they've stretched the defense, appropriately named on that running play. And 3rd down and 1, and if they can convert here, Maryland's in deep trouble.
They'd have to use their last timeout. We're about to hit 2 minutes. Oh, they move. Kenneth Harris. Kind of taking that half step, and that'll back him up 5.
Well, they were able to overcome it with the throw the last time. Can they overcome this infraction?
And I think a running play is definitely in order. You want to stay aggressive, maybe a pass play you're thinking, but you've got to make Maryland burn that last timeout, so when they get the ball back, they have no timeouts and the clock's going to be in your favor.
I'm a little bit more forward thinking. I think you throw the ball. You want to get that first down and knock them out right here.
1:40 left with the clock on the move. Lawrence to throw. In a world of trouble. And somehow escapes and manages to get back to the 40, but he goes out of bounds. And that will stop the clock. He was running for his life. Good. McCutcheon all chasing him, and Boone almost wrapped him up near the boundary.
Other than getting out of bounds, though, you got to love the effort by Lawrence. You know, there's a great movie many years ago, Lawrence of Arabia. This is Lawrence of San Antonio. The way he's played tonight, he has been fabulous.
90 seconds left. And the punt is away by Van Pamelin. Buckle up. 1:27 remaining, 10-6 Georgia with a trip to the championship on the line. Maryland with a timeout.
Earlier I would have thought that, Maryland wouldn't have a chance, but after what happened with their 2-play drive and the long touchdown to Hill the last time, they got to feel at a minute 27 that they can win the football game. They only have to negotiate 59 yards. They do have the timeout. They still have nearly a minute and a half to do it, so it is reasonable. They can get it done.
Kept silent for 36 minutes tonight, scoring 2 plays their last time out. Here they go now. At the 40. Shotgun 4 receivers and the sprint draw to Jackson. To midfield. That first down to the 46. Clock stops momentarily for the move of the sticks.
Great call. Everybody in the stadium thinking pass. They cross him up with the draw. Jackson gets enough yardage for the first down. It stops the clock as they move the sticks, and Maryland's on the move.
After 13, same play. And Jackson, not as much success. They were ready for it.
The way Bonner's thrown the ball late in the game, you got to think that he's going to go up top here. That play takes time off the clock, though, as we duck on inside of a minute here. A lot of pressure on Maryland. But again, Bonner was humming the ball around the lot the last time they had it.
What a finish to 12 hours of football today. Oh, movement. 42 seconds left. Have to score a touchdown, and the procedure will back him up. So we'll put it at the 49. One timeout remaining. Second and 15. The clock continuing to run, and Bonner's got to make something happen. Looking long down the sideline, it's incomplete. Wanted Randy Fields, 21 seconds left. 3rd and 15.
Georgia's thinking 2 more stops. We can stop Maryland 2 more times. We're in the final. Bonner's thinking he's got to find somebody like he did with Hill. He's got to go down the field. He does have 2 downs to work with and the timeout. So he has the whole field to work with. And have to really just throw to the sideline. Doesn't have to get it all here, because this is 3rd down.
Deontay Hill, the man who caught the pass, near side slot. Bonner sacked. And they have to call their final timeout with 15 seconds left.
Boy, this hurts. The one thing you have to do here is release the football, and Bonner couldn't do it.
Herbert run like the windborn again with the sack, and it all comes down to this 4th down play.
Just a tribute again to the Georgia defense. I know it's easy to sit up here and say Bonner should have unloaded the football, but he didn't have any time to throw it away. And as soon as he looked up, there were 2 in his face from Georgia. Well, this is the season. Really on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Georgia can go to the finals with a stop. Maryland needs another big play, and they know, at least in their mind, they've had one here in the 4th quarter.
Matt, what's your mentality? Are you looking to send this to the end zone? You can get a first down, maybe spike, and then get in a little closer to take a shot?
Yeah, typically in these situations, you either try to hit like a deep dig route or a deep out route. But it's got to be past the chains. If you're going to go in the middle of the field, you hustle up, you get a kill shot on the clock, and then you get one more shot at the end zone. If you go up from here, you're a little bit too far out.
At the 46, this is it. 4th and long. Bonner, they'll bring it back and do this play again. There was a flag, and Georgia appeared to be offside. So that will bring them closer.
For the GFL bus, please report back to your bus immediately. The bus driver for the GFL bus.
Since that happened before the play, they're going to put 15 seconds back on the clock, which they should.
Offside call against Maryland. 14 seconds.
So offside on Georgia into the 48.
Replay down, 15 seconds on the play clock. 4th down.
Hill, Fields, Boone out there. Georgia might have jumped the gun again. So much anticipation off that edge, and they're going a little too early, guys.
Yeah, they're giving life to Maryland.
That's Winborn coming around the corner. So it went
And Neil, we discussed maybe trying to get 10 yards or so, maybe over the middle or quick out. They gave it to him on penalties, and all of a sudden now you're in decent range to get a few yards here, get out of bounds, and then really take a legitimate shot to the end zone.
It was 4th and 18. And now 4th and 8. Bonner steps up and throws. Incomplete. Derek Allen, who's been their best defensive back, came through to knock it down, intended for Boone.
How smart is Derek Allen? He didn't try to pick it off. He didn't try to do anything fancy. He just slapped it straight down, knowing if he stopped the play, the game would end with a kneel down with his offense. Again, how schooled these players are by the FBU teachers. He knocked it down. That was the exact play. Didn't try to do too much, and congratulations to Georgia. Their defense stops Maryland when they had to, and thus they're going to win the football game.
Now the question turns to who will score more, or enough, or at all, on Sunday in the 8th grade championship.
My over and under, and I said it before, is 10 points.
It'll be Seattle and Georgia. Compromised of really a youth football coaching legend in Ken Burge. Terrence Bird's on his way, but doesn't have Ken Burge's 29-year pedigree as Lawrence takes the snap, and that's it. These 8th graders from Georgia, this GFL side, will have a chance to repeat at the 8th grade level, and the dream of winning from the 7th on to the 8th for Maryland comes to an end here in the national semifinal. 10-6, the final score, and it will be Georgia and Seattle in the Alamo Dome on Sunday evening. We'll check in with Tyler Olson shortly. But what a football game. What a night for the 8th graders. Defense rules the roost, but there were the plays that got the crowd out of their seats when it mattered most.
Yeah, these are two terrific football teams, and it just illustrates yet again that defenses win championships, and Georgia's defense was just too good. And Maryland, to their credit, they came alive in the 4th quarter. They got the big hit from Bonner to Hill to electrify the crowd, but it wasn't quite enough because Georgia was able to get that second score and open it up and give themselves just enough cushion to get through to the final.
And to me, what stands out really is in this day and age of upbeat, sexy, high-flying offenses, the defenses in the 8th grade division are really the story of the whole 8th grade.
I'll tell you what's sexy. Sexy is winning, and no matter how you get it done. And you win championships with defense. And we can talk about all those great offenses out there, but the great teams will end up finishing off the deal and win titles, win it on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, Ken Burge knows how to win. Knows how to win at the youth level. It's so impressive to think, yes, their defense is on par with maybe the group they had last year. The offense, maybe not at that level, but they've still got some pretty darn good talent that can get it done. And that should be one heck of a championship, 6 o'clock Central on Sunday against Seattle. So the final score here, Georgia with a 10-6 win over Maryland in our series of games. The East Bay Youth All-American Bowls, the FBU National Championships on ESPN3 begin tomorrow night at 8:30 with the USA 9th grade game at the Dome. And don't, of course, forget about the U.S. Army All-American Bowl tomorrow, featured on NBC and on Sirius XM Radio, kicking off at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Randy and Matt, it's a pleasure and a lot of fun. And we'll see you in the Dome for the weekend events.
Neil, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to all the championships and all the East Bay All-Star games. I'm looking forward to seeing Matt again. It was a long day, Matt, but it was certainly great fun. And I love the quality that we saw in the 8th grade division. 2 terrific battles in the semifinals.
So that is the story here in San Antonio. We'll see on ESPN3, everyone. Jerome Butler heading up our great television crew and our scholastic video stars of the future, our FBU crew as well. For Randy Rosenblum, Matt D'Orazio, I'm Neil Sika. Georgia wins the final game of the night 10-6. And the national championships are set. 6th grade North Texas will take on Georgia from Cobb County. The 7th grade features Iowa and South Florida. And the 8th graders, GFL-Georgia and Seattle. From Wheatley Stadium, good night.